interactive online training on piping and instrumentation diagram. Module 10. Case Study Part 2. Following topics to be discussed in this part of Module 3 P&Id Part 2. 4 Drawing Sheet Layout. 5 Main Process and Equipment Piping. 6 Secondary Process and Utility Piping. This is Case Study Part 2 of the online interactive course on P&Id. In Part 1, propane refrigeration system PFD on gas compression and circulation by various static and rotating equipment was discussed. All the necessary and essential elements for P&Id were specified with brief explanation. Just like PFD, a P&Id is initially produced by process engineering and elaborated by mechanical engineering for further development. Once a marked-up drawing is ready, the design and drafting group depicts it on computer using software. There are various software available in the market to generate P&Id. AutoCAD is widely used for this purpose. Drawings are printed on various sized sheets depending on the requirement of the users. For general use, interpretation, and markups, a standard P&Id is usually printed on an 11 by 17-inch sheet for being handy and convenient. An outline border is provided within which the drawing elements are mentioned. Title block is placed along the bottom border, as shown in the sample. Title block for the P&Id is divided into 6 sections. Section 1. Reference Drawings. Drawing Number. Section 2. Revision Number. Revision Comment. Date. By Draftsman Initials. Section 3. Project. Client. Item. Title of P&Id. Section 4. Client consultant information such as business name, address, and company logo. Section 5. Drawing Number. Sequence Sheet. Joke Code, Specific 3, or 4-letter code by consultant. Revision Number. Block for Drawing Confidentiality Statement. Section 6. Section 6 requires signatures of department-designated engineers and technologists responsible for P&Id sign-off. This section is subdivided into 5 parts. electrical, instrumentation, controls, process, project with date. Vessels and equipment. To begin with, vessels and equipment shall be the first items shown on the P&ID. Information such as their size, type, and design, pressure, and temperature are obtained from their respective data sheets. The vessels and equipment symbols must also include nozzle locations, number, and size. The P&ID now appears as below. Main process and equipment piping are the next on P&ID. The data for all the process and equipment piping is obtained from line list. Main process and equipment lines. Referring to piping symbology for designated symbol, and after implementing the line numbers, the P&ID appears as follows along with originating points to and from the equipment. The line numbers for this group are RP925-BL1-300-C40. Propane from V2570B to C2500B low interstage. RP935-BL1-150-C50. Propane from V2570B to chillery 9530. RP936-BL1-100-C50. Propane from V2570B to condensery 9710. RP932-BL1-200-H40. Propane from V2550B to V2570B. RP922-BL1-300-C40. Propane from V2550B to V2570B. RP921-BL1-250-C40. Propane from V2550B to C2500B high interstage. Line linked by an arrow as shown for better elaboration. RP903-BL1-250N. Propane from V2530B to V2550B. and valves, reducers, insulation, and line numbers are also shown where required by design standards. The P&Id with main process and equipment piping now appears as below. Secondary process and utility piping come next. They are finer than major process lines and serve other process and utility functions. FH933-BL1-40N Hydrocarbon UC&OSD connections. FH953-BL1-50N Drain from 25.7 pp. FH909-BL1-50N Emergency drain to V9500B. RP907-BL1-80N Propane drain fill to, or from V3000 V30N. RP911-BL1-150-P25 Hot gas from C2500B to V2550B. FH942-BL1-40N Hydrocarbon UC&OSD connections. FH954-BL1-50N Drain from V2550B. RP924-BL1-50-C40 Propane vapor 2, or from V3000-3010. FR908-L1-250-H50G. 2-flare heading. FR923-BL1-80-C40. From V25-7BP to PS V25-7BP PS V25-71B to flare heading. RP939-BL1-50-C40 Propane vapor from V25-7BP to propane vapor 2, or from V3000/3010. FR941-BL1-80-C25 from V2550B to PS V2550B and PS V2551B to flare heading. RP924-BL1-50-C40 Propane vapor from V2550B propane vapor 2 and from V3000-3010. RP934-BL1-50N RP903-BL1-250N Propane from V2530B to oil cooler C2500B. RP945-BL1-50N Propane from C2500B oil cooler to V2550B. During the course of incorporating the above lines, the bypass lines and connections to F2540 be not been considered at this time. They shall be indicated along with the control valves. Now, the P&Id appears as shown below. Part 2 of this case study ends here. In Part 3, the remaining essential elements of P&ID shall be covered.